and blood. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did.
The threat of war looms.
Tell me what you see.
Nothing.
Not nothing. The north. Right, 700 miles that way, you're still in the north. 400 miles that way. 300 miles that way. 400 miles that way. 700 miles that way. 400 miles that way. 300 miles that way. 400 miles that way. The north is larger than the other 6 kingdoms combined, and I am the warden of the north. 700 miles that way. 400 miles that way. 300 miles that way. 400 miles that way. 700 miles that way. 300 miles that way. 300 miles that way. 400 miles that way. 700 miles that way. Tell me what you see.
Nothing.
Yield now, and you may remain as Lord of the Iron Islands. Yield now, and your sons will live to rule after you. You see my army outside your walls. You see my dragons.
What is outside my walls is of no concern. Those walls are strong and thick.
Dragons fly.
But stone doesn't burn.
When the sun sets, your line shall end.
Harren spat and returned to his castle. Once inside, he promised lands, riches, and Tully's daughters to whoever could bring down Aegon or his dragon. As the sun sank below the horizon, all of Harren's men patrolled the battlements, hearing wings in every gust of wind. But the moon rose and sank, and no dragon appeared.
While the Ironborn were ringing the battlements, Aegon drove his dragon Valyrian higher and higher in the night sky, so that even the great castle of Harrenhal looked like an anthill below them. Then they plunged straight into the castle, well inside the guarded walls. The 5 towers of Harrenhal reached towards Aegon like a hand. Valyrian opened his mouth and bathed all the fingers in flame.
Harren was right. Stone doesn't burn, but men do, even when they're Ironborn. The dragon blasted my ancestors into ash that choked the survivors when they screamed. Harren's soldiers leapt from the battlements and died. They huddled against the walls and died. They fled across the yard and died. Harren and his sons took shelter inside the castle. The stone didn't burn, but as Valyrian blasted it with fire, it glowed white hot.
It glowed white hot indeed. Welcome one, welcome all, as we get ready to dive into one of our final pregame shows of our House of the Dragon Season 2 series. And again, like I've been saying all week, it just seems crazy that this series is almost over. It has been absolutely whipping by. Here we are approaching episode 7, which will, of course, be the penultimate episode this season, as we are only getting 8 episodes in total. And anyone who has watched Game of Thrones in the past and have gotten a feel for their format, usually the penultimate episode always tends to be one that has a great deal of fireworks, for lack of a better term. And it looks like this episode is going to be just that indeed. Absolutely, Charles. I am hyped for episode 7 as well. I've been hearing a lot of hype around this episode, and I've been hearing from some of my sources who have been telling me that a big portion of their dragon CGI budget went towards this episode in particular. So it looks like we definitely have a lot of dragon action to look forward to in episode 7. Definitely probably going to get some of the conclusions to the Dragon Siege storyline, perhaps. And I cannot wait to see what they have in store. The penultimate episode is upon us, ladies and gentlemen, in less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours away. And we got Bernie, who has been a member for 1 month. Thank you so much, Bernie, for becoming a member of the channel. Hiya all, here with the bestie, ready to get our dragon on. Hi all, hi Jeremy, Vala Mogulis. And Vala Dohaitis, right back to you as well, my friend. Welcome, Bernie. Welcome, welcome indeed. And welcome, everybody. Hope everybody is having a phenomenal weekend so far. I hope you guys are getting ready to dive into episode 7 of House of the Dragon. Again, the ending is upon us, guys. The ending is upon us. The final 2 episodes, and we are finally going to see just exactly how this second season is going to end, which has been a big question on a lot of our minds since it began. Where exactly are they going to end season 2 off? What big events are they going to shove in there right before the end? What are they going to say for season 3? We are getting closer and closer to finding out. And yes, thank you for this as well, King Scotto, and everybody else who was saying it in the chat. We recently just passed the 20,000 subscriber mark here on the channel, which is just absolutely insane, something I never thought would happen, and I continue to be in awe of the support that you guys have been showing the channel. It's been overwhelming, to say the least. So I can't thank each and every one of you enough. Everybody who shows up for the lives, everybody who watches the regular videos, and everything in between. You guys really are the best. Can't thank you all enough. 20,000 subs. 20,000 subs. Big thank you. Big thank you to each and every one of you. Very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. Let's see who else we got in this awesome chat here this evening. And as we start to dive into some episode 7 predictions. Now, of course, I do have the trailer for episode 7 queued up. As soon as I'm done greeting all of you fine people in the chat, we will play the episode 7 trailer, and we will dive into it a little bit and see exactly what we could potentially see in episode 7. Along with some really interesting stills that they have recently released as well that are all episode 7 based. So we're going to take a look at all of that and everything else. Got Joseph Larkin in the house. What is up, Joseph? Good to see you. I see Namon in the house. What is up, Namon Targaryen? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hype. Think this episode will be really good. And again, from everything that I've been hearing, I think this episode is going to be a lot better than some of the previous ones that we've been getting lately. It looks like this one is going to be similar to Rook's Rest in terms of scale and the enormity of it. So we're going to have a good one. Looks like episode 7, all signs point to episode 7 being a crazy one for sure. Got Cheryl Baxter in the house. What is up, Cheryl? Good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got Zachary Welch in the house. What is up, Zachary? Welcome, welcome. Got Leo V in the house. What is up, Leo? Good to see you as well. Got Fletcher Targaryen in the building. What is up, Fletcher? Good to see you, my friend. Kramanakle in the house. What is up? What is up? How about that season 3 trailer of From? Man, oh man, oh man. We are definitely going to be diving headfirst into that a little bit more on Wednesday this week as well. So all of my From fans, be on the lookout. We will be going live Wednesday night and diving into all things season 3 after that beautiful, absolutely beautiful season 3 trailer we just got. We got Crazy Description in the house. What is up, Crazy? Good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome. We got Ando in the building. Zabrizas Bosgati, Ixos.org. Yes, my friend. A dragon is not a slave. A dragon is not a slave indeed. And thank you, Ando, for the congratulations. And thank all of you. You guys, again, you guys are the ones I have to thank for this. Everyone who has been subbing to the channel, everyone who has been promoting the channel, sharing the videos out on social media. It's been crazy. You guys have been awesome. I can't thank you all enough. Cannot thank you all enough. I hope they give Vermithor a better ending than going out versus plebs. This is the only thing I would change. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if all of the dragon deaths remain the same or similar to how they're described in the books, or if they end up maybe doing kind of some of their own things at times. I totally wouldn't be too surprised if we see some small changes here and there. They have shown that they are kind of doing their own thing. while, keeping to the source material for a lot of the big moments. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if they switched a few things up here and there in terms of how some of these dragon battles go down. Yeah, we might see that. We just might see that. Got Kiwi Skirt in the building. What is up, Kiwi? The mod extraordinaire, always helping us out. What is up, Kiwi? Always good to see you, my friend. Always good to see Kiwi. We got Rockers in the house. What is up, Rockers? Good to see you as well. Got Hanover Fist in the house as well. What is up, Hanover Fist? Good to see you. We got the Greek Goral in the building. Happy Dragon Day, chat. Happy Dragon Day indeed. You guys know me. Hashtag Team Dragon all the way. The dragons are the true victims of the dance. And I think we're going to see a little bit of that in this episode. We're definitely going to get some dragon action. That much is for sure. Got Caitlin in the house. What is up, Caitlin? Good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Dracula in the building. What is up, Dracula? Always good to see you, my friend. I hope you are getting ready. Hope you guys are all getting ready for episode 7 as we get closer and closer away. Less than an hour and 45 minutes, around an hour and 40 minutes away now, actually, from episode 7. Hour and 40 minutes. Are there solid spoilers out there from San Diego Comic-Con? There's a lot of spoilers out there. I've been seeing a lot of wild spoilers out there, but I don't know if I would exactly call any of them solid. I haven't seen any footage. A lot of the rumors, a lot of the leaks and rumors that I've been seeing have been posted, written. I haven't actually seen any video of any of these spoilers to back up any of the claims. So no, I haven't put any stock into any of the rumors that I have been seeing. I try to stay away from rumors and leaks. I actually have made a very conscious effort to kind of go and unfollow a lot of leak accounts and stuff like that. And it's totally cool if you guys like leaks. I mean, I used to be really into the whole leak thing as well, and reporting on leaks, doing videos on leaks. But as the leaks started to get a little bit more and more crazy, I don't know, I just started to not wanting to see the leaks as much. So I really kind of went in and kind of unfollowed all of the quote unquote leak accounts. So I don't see as much of it as I used to. Every once in a while, I'll see maybe something posted in our Discord about some kind of rumor or leak that maybe somebody has heard of. But no, I haven't put much in terms of calling them solid. I wouldn't call any of them solid yet, just because it seems like it's just talk and not much to back it up. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe some of these, again, I haven't seen a whole lot of them, but maybe some of the leaks are going to be accurate. We certainly will find out soon enough. We certainly will find out soon enough. We got Summer Girl in the house. What is up, Summer Girl TV? Good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got the channel in the house. The wolves are already howling. Yes, the wolves are indeed howling. And this has been one of the rumors I have been seeing going around in terms of a maybe certain cameo of some northern characters that may or may not be in the episode. But I don't know what is true and what is not. Again, I don't put much stock in a lot of the leaks that I hear. I like to kind of see the episode and just see for myself, really. But yeah, I certainly want to see the Winter Wolves more than anything. Those are certainly, in terms of new characters that I'm looking forward to seeing the most, it was definitely Cregan Stark, Alice Rivers, and the Winter Wolves. Those are the top 3 that I was looking forward to seeing the most, and Prince Daeron with a close 4th. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? We know one thing, though. Dragons are coming, as Kiwi says. Yes, the dragons are coming. Dragons are coming. We got Football Insanity. What is up, Football Insanity? We here, episode 7. Hell yes. We are here. We are counting it down, hanging out together, killing some time while we wait for episode 7 to load up on our screens, which I am going to play the trailer for here in 1 second. And then I would love to get everybody's opinion on this trailer and some predictions that you guys have for episode 7. We got Wolfspear in the building. We need more House Stark. We do. We do need more House Stark. More House Stark is always better than less House Stark, I would say. Absolutely. Absolutely. Got MKXD in the building. What is up, MKXD? Good to see you as well, my friend. We got Rip the Dodo Birds in the house. What is up, Rip? Always good to see you as well, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Richland Ford in the house. What is up, Richland? How many miles? Which way? Yeah. That's a very old meme back from the ancient Game of Thrones days. that for some reason, I don't know why, I put it in an intro a while back, and thought tonight would be a night. Let's break out some Roose Bolton memes. I've always got a kick out of that one. I always got a kick out of that one. We got King Scotto in the house. What is up, King Scotto? Good to see you. We got BB in the building. What is up, BB? He wasn't lying. Harrenhal became barbecue chicken. He really did, right? I mean, he was not lying. Yeah, stone might not burn per se, but it certainly will glow white hot and melt and get twisted into nothing and essentially turn Harrenhal into the world's largest oven, essentially. So yeah, not the smartest strategy when facing a fire-breathing dragon. Not a good strategy. Who was just narrating? In terms of that little clip, the two voices that you hear narrating are one was Viserys, the Viserys from Game of Thrones, not Viserys from House of the Dragon, but the Viserys from Game of Thrones, the brother of Daenerys. And the other voice was the voice of Euron Greyjoy from Game of Thrones as well, the actor who played Euron. And yeah, all of those old animations, they're all narrated by the Game of Thrones cast, all members of the Game of Thrones cast. And they're interesting. There's a lot of interesting old history and lore videos that came out during Game of Thrones. And that was one thing I was really hoping House of the Dragon was going to do a little bit more of. Because, essentially back when Game of Thrones was on, every time the Blu-ray or DVD box set would come out, they would have tons of special features. And one of the special features on every season of Game of Thrones was those history and lore little animated Game of Thrones videos. And that was one thing I was really hoping that House of the Dragon was going to start doing that in between seasons as well, because they always dropped while people were waiting in between seasons. So it always gave us something kind of new and fresh to watch and talk about while we're waiting in between seasons when the Blu-ray and box sets come out. So I was really hoping House of the Dragon was going to start producing some more of those, but alas, they have not yet. They have not yet. Maybe they will. I don't know. I hope they do. But yeah, those were always a lot of fun. Those were always a lot of fun, especially the Doom of Valyria one.
This world wasn't always so small and petty. Thousands of years ago, while the rest of men prayed to gods, the Valyrians became them. Through magic or sheer will, they mastered the greatest creatures in history. A horse grants man dominion over the land, a ship over the sea. But dragons gave us the sky, and everything and everyone beneath it. At its height, my ancestors ruled the known world. Whatever parts we didn't weren't worth knowing. Our capital of Valyria shamed the magnificent cities of the east, for hammers and chisels were no match for dragon fire and sorcery. It was a city and an empire built to last until the end of time. It didn't. 400 years ago, the doom fell on Valyria. Mountains cracked open like eggs, lakes and rivers boiled, fountains of fire, ash and smoke spewed from the ground, so high and so hot that even dragons burned in flight. The land splintered, and the angry sea rushed in. In hours, the greatest city in history became history.
Became history indeed. And yes, that would be really cool. As Channel says, Matt Smith and Reese might not do it, but Aegon doing some of these would be great. And honestly, I would imagine Matt Smith and Reese would maybe even be open to it as well. When they were doing the Game of Thrones ones, they got some very prominent voices to narrate some of them throughout the seasons. Like Jon Snow did some, Ned Stark did some, Stannis, Robb Stark. So they had pretty, prominent members of the cast doing it during Game of Thrones. So I imagine they could probably get even Matt Smith to do it on House of the Dragon. But even if not, even if it was only someone like Aegon and Aemon and along those lines, it would still be freaking awesome. There's still so much history just of House Targaryen alone that they could turn into some of those smaller history and lore videos, like exploring the Blackfire Rebellions a little bit more, the tragedy of Summerhall a little bit more. Like there's so much other stuff in the Targaryen timeline alone that they could do some more of those history and lore videos. So yeah, I would love to see them do that. I would love to see them do a little bit more of that. And the video on the voice on that one was the voice of Viserys Targaryen, not the Viserys from House of the Dragon, but the Viserys from Game of Thrones, the brother of Daenerys. That is who narrated that one. His name is Harry Lloyd, phenomenal actor. He actually narrates a lot of them throughout all of the seasons. Harry Lloyd narrates a ton of those history and lore videos. And I can see why. The dude's got a really, really good narration voice, like a really good narration voice. He actually narrated some A Song of Ice and Fire audiobooks. I know there's a version of Dunk and Egg, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. There's an audiobook version of that out there that he read. And I believe there's a version that he read out there of The Princess and the Queen as well. So yeah, he's just got a really good narrator voice. I would love to see them do some more of those House of the Dragon history and lore videos. Those are always a ton of fun. Let's see what else we got. We got Jason Moore in the house. And again, big thank you to each and every one of you hanging out with us this evening as we count down the time and wait for episode 7 to load up on our screens. We are just an hour and a half away now, ladies and gents. Just 1 hour and 30 minutes away from episode 7, the penultimate episode of season 2. So welcome one, welcome all, welcome Jason Moore, welcome Incognito. It's gonna be a gas. Maybe it will be. It's looking like it might. It's looking like it might. Welcome, Alexis. Good to see you as well. Right on time. Absolutely, you are right on time indeed. We are just starting to get into things, and I am just finishing up saying hi to the chat, and then we are going to play the episode 7 trailer, and I want to get everybody's opinions on episode 7 and the predictions that you guys have. And of course, this question as well from my pal Divine Chakra. I wonder what y'all think will be the ending of this season. And that is exactly what I have been wondering myself all year. Where exactly are they going to choose to end season 2 off on? And we're going to ask all of you that here in 1 second as well. And I want to get everybody's opinions on that. 7 blessings from Camilla. 7 blessings, everyone. Let's stick them with the pointy end. Hell yes. Stick them with the pointy end. And still to this day, one of the best duos on Game of Thrones still has to be Arya and the Hound. When those two were kind of trotting around Westeros, just causing damage at every inn they came across, that was one of the best times of Game of Thrones when we had those team-ups of the Mountain and Arya. Good stuff. Really good stuff. We got the Crymans in the house. What is up? Good to see you, my friend. I'm on a 9 hive right now. Ooh, on a 9 hive right now. Interesting. Got Delsenia in the house. What is up, Delsenia? Good to see you as well, my friend. I am late. Hey, folks, we are actually just on time. We are just starting to get into the thick of things. Just finishing saying what is up to each and every one of you. And again, if I did miss anybody, I am terribly sorry. I try to catch as many as possible. Got the playback room in the house. What is up, playback room? Why are they dragging so much? And I have had that kind of same question at times as well in season 2. At certain times, it does feel like the pacing is a little bit off. And we've been discussing that all year. And it's been some pretty interesting discussions in terms of, where some of us think the pacing has gone wrong. And some of us have loved the pacing. And I've loved the pacing. And that is totally cool. That's what these streams and discussions are for. So everyone can kind of voice their opinions on the show. What do you guys think of it? What do you think they're doing right? What do you think they could maybe do a little bit better? All opinions are welcome here. All opinions are welcome here. Let's see what else we got. We got Saber Serpent in the house. What is up, Saber Serpent Sword Reviews? Good to see you. Nice. I'm enjoying these. More dragons tonight. Hopefully we are going to get some more dragons in. It looks like we are. Again, from all reports that we are getting from some of the early screenings of episode 7, people are definitely praising this episode. Definitely praising this episode. So it looks like we're going to have some dragon action. Looks like we are going to have some dragon action. Love those lore videos back in the day, but I think House of the Dragon is no longer doing those because HBO wants to adapt those stories, and that very well could be it. I mean, maybe they want to stay away from more Targaryen history because they do plan on doing tons of adaptations. I mean, they adapted pretty much all of Aegon's conquest, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they're kind of kicking themselves in the butt for doing that now, considering they're thinking of doing an Aegon's conquest show. So that's actually a very good point, Divine Chakra. Maybe they just want to stay away from Targaryen history because they want to adapt it on screen. And if that's the case, that's totally cool. But there's so many other time periods and lands in the A Song of Ice and Fire world that they could do some really awesome history and lore videos. If they wanted to stay away from House Targaryen, totally understand that. That actually makes a lot of sense. But there's still so many other places they could explore. I was really hoping to get some more of those history and lore videos, but alas, I guess we have to wait and see what they are planning. But no, that is actually a very good point. Maybe they just don't want to spoil more stuff. Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. We got Erica Monroe in the house. What is up, Erica? Good to see you as well. I got Henry Bemis in the building. What is up, Henry Bemis? Good to see you. When was the writer's strike? Is the pacing this season related to that? It shouldn't be, no. When the writer's strike happened, the writer's strike was a U.S.-based writers and actors strike. So unless you are, it only affected U.S.-based productions. House of the Dragon is not a U.S.-based show. It is actually a U.K. equity show. It falls under the U.K. equity filming coalition. They're not part of the U.S. Guild. So House of the Dragon did not have to stop during the writer's strike. When the writers and actors strike was going on, House of the Dragon continued to film right on through the strike. They didn't have to stop working at all. So the strike shouldn't have affected them in that way. I know it affected a lot of other shows, like where it delayed from season 3. It's been delaying Yellow Jackets. It's been delaying a ton of shows. But House of the Dragon was one of those unique shows that isn't a U.S.-based production. They are strictly U.K.-based in terms of cast, crew, and everyone working on the show, mostly everyone working on the show anyway. So they were allowed to continue to work right throughout the strike. So the strike shouldn't have affected them in terms of pacing issues and stuff like that. It seems like they were able to work right through the strike. Right through the strike. See what else we got. We got Ty Briggs in the house. What is up, Ty? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got Admiral Wackass in the building. What is up, Admiral Wackass? Good to see you. They're investing a lot in character development and interpersonal conflicts, etc., and not enough action. Can't believe Battle of the Burning Mill was off screen. And that is one thing. I mean, when I look back at the earlier seasons of Game of Thrones, I mean, they don't technically need action to make a compelling story. At least in my opinion, like I don't really watch House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones, especially for the action. Even though House of the Dragon was, and I have heard a lot of people bringing this up over the last week. House of the Dragon was technically marketed as a war show, a war show with dragons. So I can totally understand, the portion of the fans who feel like they're not getting enough dragon action. I totally understand, and I sympathize with that as well. Who doesn't want more dragon action? But for me, I don't really tune into the show. Into these shows, hankering for action so much as I'm just hankering for good writing, good storytelling, good dialogue, good plot development, good motivations for characters that make sense, things like that. And I feel like that's what made Game of Thrones, the early seasons of Game of Thrones, so compelling. I mean, you look at season 1 of Game of Thrones, there isn't a single battle in the entire season. Even in season 2, there's only a single battle that they show when they get to the very end of the season in the Battle of the Blackwater Bay. Then you get to season 3, a lot more of the same. They don't actually show any of the battles. They kind of skip right over them. And nobody minded. I certainly didn't mind because the storytelling was just so compelling. The characters were so rich. The world that it was setting is so rich that it didn't really leave us hankering for more action just because the characters, the writing, the dialogue, everything was just so good. So yeah, that's kind of what I look for when I kind of watch these episodes of House of the Dragon. As much as I really want to see some dragon battles, and I do, don't get me wrong, I just really, at times, some of the best scenes I have seen are just when it's two characters that have some really good dialogue scheming. And that's what made Game of Thrones so good in those early seasons, was just 2 or 3 characters sitting in a room scheming and plotting, and seeing how those schemes and plots eventually go on to play out over the show and how they affect all the other characters around them. It's just little things like that that really made Game of Thrones so compelling. But no, I totally understand people that want a little bit more action and a little bit more dragon battles and things like that. House of the Dragon, after all, it was marketed as a war show with dragons. So I totally understand people wanting some more action. And it looks like those of you that do want some more action, myself included, like I said, I'm not opposed to some more awesome action. It looks like we are going to be getting that in episode 7 by all accounts. It looks like this episode, the penultimate episode, looks like is going to be a pretty big one. A lot of dragon action, according to Ryan Condal. So it looks like we're going to have some interesting stuff happening in this next episode. But again, I guess we're going to have to wait and see as we are getting closer and closer away now. We are less than an hour and a half away from the next episode. Hour and a half away from the next episode. Awesome stuff. Now, let's get into this awesome trailer here. We will play the trailer for episode 7, and then I want to get everybody's opinions on it, along with some awesome stills. I do have some stills from episode 7 as well. So we will take a look at the episode 7 trailer, and then we will take a look at the episode 7 stills. And I cannot wait to get each and every one of y'all's opinions on this. Let me know what you guys are thinking of episode 7. And of course, what predictions do you guys have for episode 7 and beyond? And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about where you guys think season 2 is going to end as a whole. But first, let's dive into the trailer.
You stand with a dragon of House Targaryen! What do you want?
It does seem to me that you've made rather a mess here.
Whose side are you on?
The old ways call for justice.
Prince Darren's dragon was taken to wing.
House Targaryen is the blood of the dragon. If any may lay claim to it, what are we then?
With these dragons, peace will be restored.
Yes, indeed. Looks like we are going to have some very interesting things popping off over this next episode, and I am looking forward to seeing exactly what they have in store for us. But yeah, let us know in the comment section, guys. What are you looking forward to for episode 7? What are you expecting to happen in episode 7? What predictions do you guys have, and so forth? Let us know what you guys are thinking. I like the story, but it would be nice for some action. And yeah, and that's totally cool. That's 100% cool if if that's what people are feeling. And like I said, I'm not opposed to getting some more action myself as well. But yeah, I do tune into it for the story mostly. So if the story's good, the action will come when it comes. But yeah, I totally understand people wanting some more action. It was marketed as a war show with dragons, so I do understand that. I hope that dog doesn't get eaten by a dragon. I hope not too. The dog has been so resilient, hasn't he? The poor and loyal dog of Cheese. Cheese was up there, strung up like a Christmas ham for probably weeks on end, and that dog just sat there right below him every day waiting for his loyal buddy. Very heartfelt, especially if any of you are dog owners out there like I myself am. I've been a huge dog owner my entire life, so I know the special bond between man and beast. So yeah, I hope the dog makes it. The dog has been a survivor up until this point, and I hope the dog continues to survive. Hopefully. This episode, I think we're going to get some new sets, new characters, and hopefully some sword or dragon battles. The slow-paced season must pay off, or I think a lot of fans are going to get turned off. Interesting, indeed. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could totally understand that if some fans might get maybe a little bit turned off if they feel they're not getting enough action. That's totally cool. Again, everybody is welcome to their opinion, and everybody has the right to watch or not watch the show based on whatever reason they feel. So I totally respect that, 100% respect all of that. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I guess we'll see what these last 2 episodes are going to, deliver. And I've been saying it myself. I haven't been giving season 2 the best score overall as a whole. I've really enjoyed most of it. I have really enjoyed. There's been some really great scenes, some really good dialogue between characters, and those are some of the scenes I look forward to the most. Just good old well-written scenes that have well-written dialogue, and there have been plenty of that. But I'd be lying if I didn't also acknowledge that I feel the pacing has been a little bit off at times in terms of certain storylines maybe dragging on a little bit too long, and certain storylines maybe not being spent enough time on. Like I've been very vocal about Cregan Stark at the beginning of the episode, and again, that totally might just be my bias, because I am very biased when it comes to House Stark. I love House Stark. I love the North. Always been my favorite part of not only the books but the show as well, House Stark till the end. So I was really looking forward to seeing a little bit more from Cregan Stark. To only get 6 minutes of him was a little bit of a letdown, just for me personally. But again, I'm totally capable of acknowledging that that might just be my bias because I'm a big Stark fan. This is a Targaryen story after all, so I understand them not wanting to spend too much time on the Starks. But yeah, man, give us more than 6 minutes of Cregan. Give us more than 6 minutes of Cregan. But yeah, if these next 2 episodes, if they finish with a bang over these next 2 episodes, I think it will definitely, like you said, pay off in terms of some of these slower pacing at times. If these next 2 episodes really deliver, yeah, I think the payoff will hopefully be worth it, and I think it might be. Again, I do have faith in Ryan Condal and the cast and crew. I do think the show has all the potential in the world to be almost as good as Game of Thrones. I don't think anything will ever be as good as Game of Thrones, especially those early seasons of Game of Thrones. But I do think House of the Dragon has the potential to become close, almost as good. But yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess we shall see. Got Vic in the house. What is up, Vic? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Emily Meredith says, ooh, the love triangle, though. Yes, the love triangle, indeed. If we're talking about the love triangle that has recently arisen between Rhaenyra, Mysaria, and now Damon, yeah, there's a whole can of weeds right there in and of itself. No more big battles probably, but can't wait to see what they're cooking for the last 2. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a battle per se, but Ryan Condal did say they did film another really big sequence. And it looks like that sequence is going to be coming in this episode, just based on what Ryan Condal said at the recent Comic-Con and some of his earlier statements when the season first began. He did say that they filmed 2 major sequences, one of them being the Battle of Rook's Rest, and the second one being whatever the second one we're about to get. So it might not be a battle per se, but we do at least have one more huge, big budget sequence that is going to be coming in this episode or the next. And I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where they're going to end season 2 off at. I guess we shall find out. Is Adam and Sea Smoke going to Dracarys on Rhaena and Syrax? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think Adam even knows what Dracarys is or even knows any High Valyrian at this point. He probably doesn't even know the word Dracarys at this point. Maybe he does. Who knows? He does have some Valyrian blood, but he wasn't raised as a proper Valyrian. So I imagine he probably doesn't know any of that yet. But no, I don't think he's going to Dracarys Rhaenyra. I think they're going to have an interesting discussion. From what I have heard, Rhaenyra is very firm with Adam in terms of finding out exactly who this kid is and what his intentions are now that he has this dragon. So I think it's going to be an interesting scene that might have some fireworks, but I do think the 2 of them will ultimately go away from the scene under a mutual agreement or a mutual assurance. I don't think they're going to become enemies. Hopefully he doesn't Dracarys her. Let's see what else we got. And yeah, they cut Nettles so Damon doesn't shit on Rhaenyra, but like then make Rhaenyra cheat on Damon with Mysaria. The absolute hypocrisy is astounding, and I totally understand that. I totally understand that if that is some people's stance out there. Again, all opinions are welcome here, guys. You guys are welcome to your opinions, and I love hearing them. But yeah, I mean, it's been very interesting to understand if they did cut out Nettles. Why exactly did they cut out Nettles? But yeah, I'm gonna wait and see. It's gonna be interesting to find out. But no, that's a fair take, my friend. It is a fair take. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, the trailer doesn't seem to show much action. I think this episode will be another bottle type episode. Looking forward to the story progressing. And I don't think it's going to be another bottle type episode, personally. I do think we are, again, just based off what I've been hearing, it looks like this episode is going to have some action. Maybe not battles, but it does look like this episode is going to have some heavy dragon action. So I don't think it's just going to be another bottle episode. I don't think so. Especially when it comes to, again, the penultimate episodes in a format of House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. Usually the penultimate episode, which is the episode before the finale, usually that episode always has a big story point and a big high sequence filmed thing. Whether it's a big budget scene, battle scene, or everything in between. Usually the penultimate episode is when you see something big happen. So I'm expecting to see that. I'm expecting to see something big in this episode based off all of the early non-spoiler reviews that some people have been giving for episode 7. It seems like there's something big happening in this one. But either way, I'm looking forward to finding out. I am looking forward to finding out. This is what I'm expecting. Fire and blood. Camilla is expecting some dragon fire in episode 7, and I love it. I am expecting some dragon fire as well. I'd love to see it end with a face-to-face of Aemond and Damon for build-up to next season, says Leo V. That could be pretty interesting. That could definitely be pretty interesting, ending on an interesting kind of face-off between Damon and Aemond, foreshadowing the events that are going to come later on down the line, whether season 3 or season 4, the big battle of the God's Eye, which we know we're probably going to get. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I'm hoping Damon leaves Harrenhal. I do too as well, and I totally understand they were in a little bit of a bind in terms of trying to come up with some kind of storyline for Damon in season 2, because in Fire and Blood, Damon does spend a good deal of time at Harrenhal when a lot of the other elements of the war are going on. He kind of stays located at Harrenhal for a good amount of time in the book. So I understand they need to come up with some kind of way to make his story at Harrenhal a little bit more exciting. And again, I was on board for the Alice Rivers, Damon DMT trip at the beginning. I was really enjoying it for like the first 2 or 3 episodes. It just for me anyway, it started to feel like it was getting a little too repetitive. I get what they were trying to do in showing Damon some of these sins of his past and trying to teach Damon lessons that he hasn't been there for his family at times and that he really should have been. So I totally understand what they were going for with some of these hallucinations in terms of some of the lessons that they were trying to teach Damon. But just for me anyway, it started to feel a little bit repetitive when we get to 4 or 5, now 6 straight episodes in a row of nothing but Damon, kind of tripping balls and really not doing much else. So I do understand people's frustration with Damon's storyline in season 2. I'm one of them myself. But if you're liking the Harrenhal DMT trip and you're liking the Damon storyline in season 2, that is awesome. I am super happy for you. If you're loving it, I love that you're loving it. I love it. And again, I liked it at the beginning at first. I just felt like it started to feel a little too repetitive. And yeah, exactly, Divine Chakra. Damon's just getting some therapy. Damon's just getting some therapy, y'all. He'll be all right. He'll be back to the rogue prince that we know in life. And I do think he will. I do think he will come back to the rogue prince that we know and love. But yeah, it has been, just for me anyway, it has been dragging a little bit. It's been a little repetitive. Dutch Hulk, what is up, Dutch Hulk? Daron is taking wings. So small change we see Old Town unless they show us Daron taking off. And that's what I've been wondering as well. Are they going to show Daron in season 2, or are they just kind of teasing him for season 3? Definitely been wondering that, because yeah, that line did stick out to me as well in this trailer for episode 7 when we hear Lord Jasper Ironwood state that Daron has taken to wing and that the Hightower force will be unstoppable now. So yeah, I was wondering what's going on there as well. We do know that Daron Targaryen and the Hightower host are slowly but surely moving up north from Old Town, but they have been running into some problems. And this is how it happens in Fire and Blood as well. When the Hightower host is heading up north to King's Landing to meet up with the rest of the Greens, they end up getting harassed, and their supply lines keep getting attacked. They keep getting raided by House Beesbury and House Tarly as well. Randall Tarly from Game of Thrones and Samwell Tarly, that house. House Tarly and House Beesbury both start harassing and attacking the Hightower lines and really doing some damage to them in their supplies while they're trying to make it up to King's Landing. And it looks like they're doing that on the show as well. So I don't know if we are exactly going to see Daron in season 2. I think it would be really interesting if we got a nice shot of maybe Daron and the Hightower host kind of moving up north and seeing a small little skirmish between them and the forces of House Beesbury. Could be pretty interesting. I'm not really expecting to see it, though. As much as I really, really want to see Daron, I get the feeling they're probably going to save Daron for season 3. But again, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm not expecting it, but I would love to see it nonetheless. Love to see it nonetheless. Jason Moore is looking forward to the Dragon Seeds claiming dragons. Hell yes, me too as well. And that was one of my kind of, maybe it's just a nitpick, and I did enjoy the Adam and Sea Smoke scene that we got in episode 6, but that was one of my small kind of disappointments. Was I wish we could have got to see Adam actually climbing on Sea Smoke and actually having that first flight. I mean, I'm sure all of you remember back to season 1 when young Aemond first claimed Vhagar. That was one of the coolest scenes I have ever seen, not only in House of the Dragon, but in Game of Thrones, period. It was so cool to finally actually see the act of someone claiming and bonding with a dragon. So I was really looking forward to seeing Adam actually hopping on that dragon, maybe looking like a fool, like he's on a bucking bronco that he can't handle for a while because he's in very unfamiliar territory. Adam didn't grow up around dragons. He wasn't taught about dragons. He has no idea how to ride a dragon. He hasn't been taught any of this. He's been literally thrown right into the fire. So I thought it could have been a pretty interesting kind of scene to kind of show Adam having his first ride and what a mess it possibly could have been. But it was still a cool scene either way. Still a pretty decent scene either way. Let's see what else we got. We got Charles Joshua for $2. Thank you so much, Charles, for the $2. So hyped for the first glimpse of Silverwing. Yes! Hell yes, my friend. I am super pumped to see Silverwing. I really want to see Vermithor as well. I know we have seen some small glimpses of Vermithor, but they've always been down in the Dragon Mount with very, very low light. I want to see a proper shot of Vermithor, like a real good shot of Vermithor out there in broad daylight. Let's see just how massive this dragon truly is. Because at this point, Vermithor is the second largest dragon in the world during the Dance of the Dragons, according to George. So yeah, Vermithor is going to be big. Obviously not quite as big as Vhagar, but Vermithor is going to be massive, and I cannot wait to see what Vermithor looks. And Silverwing as well. Silverwing will also be a pretty big dragon, certainly bigger than Sea Smoke and Cyrax at the very least. So yeah, I cannot wait to see some of these dragons. I'm really looking forward to seeing the conclusion of this Dragon Seed storyline. And it looks like in this episode, we are going to get the Dragon Seed conclusion.
With the loss of 4 dragons, Rhaenyra's only advantage was fading. Luckily for her, over the centuries, House Targaryen had spilled more than blood on Dragonstone. She promised gold and title to any of the Targaryen bastards who could tame the 6 unclaimed dragons on the island. These bastards were called the Dragon Seeds, though most were called Supper. And perhaps the dragons were eventually sated, or bored, but 4 of them accepted riders and were enlisted in Rhaenyra's cause.
That's right, guys. It is a bloody business, the Dragon Seed storyline, or the sowing of the seeds, or the red sowing, as it's referred to in the book. It's definitely a bloody affair, and a great many would-be dragon riders get severely burnt, maimed, or worse. So yeah, hopefully we'll see a little bit of that in this episode. Hopefully. We got Leo V for $5. Thank you so much, Leo V, for the $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Looking at Cyrax and Sea Smoke, I still favor Moondancer as my favorite dragon of the two, of season 2. The look reminds me of an iguana. Yeah, I really love what they did with the design of Moondancer. Moondancer does look really, really interesting with the kind of pale olive green skin that's kind of spotted at times. Super cool looking dragon. I love what they did with the head of Moondancer as well. If you look back at the head of Moondancer, it almost has a very kind of cool dinosaur looking head to it almost. It doesn't really have horns. It's got like a weird, interesting dinosaur like head. So yeah, I really like the design of Moondancer. I like the design of all the dragons. That's one thing I really can't take away from House of the Dragon. They really went above and beyond and making these dragons incredibly unique, incredibly distinct from one another. Like, you're never going to confuse Cyrax for Sea Smoke. You're never going to confuse Caraxes for Vhagar. You get a little glimpse of these dragons and you instantly know which dragon it is. And that was something that Game of Thrones had a little bit of problem with, a little bit towards the later seasons, especially when we get to the final season when the dragons are actually fighting each other. At times it was impossible to tell which dragon was which because they all looked so similar. But they're really unique here on House of the Dragon, and there's really no mistaking which dragon is which. If you've been watching the show from the beginning, at this point, there's really no mistaking which dragon is which. They are very unique, and I'm very pleased with that. I think the dragon designs have been pretty good for the most part. Pretty good for the most part. But thank you, Leo, for the 5. We got Kayla, my good friend Kay Lisi, my awesome co-host. Thank you so much, Kayla, for the $19.99. Wow, thank you so much. Popping in real quick, I saw you hit 20K. Congrats. So proud and happy for you. On to 40K. Wishing you all the success. Well, thank you so much for that, Kayla. And you've been so awesome. You've been such an awesome friend. You've been such an awesome co-host, a great addition to this panel. And you're always welcome on here, my friend. You're always welcome on here. And thank you for that. I very much appreciate the kind words. You guys have been so supportive. So thank you. Thank you so much for that, Kayla. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you indeed. All right, let's pop a little bit more into some of this. Why are the dragons growing so slowly? In the Game of Thrones, the dragons got larger very quick, and that was something that has been brought up a little bit recently as well. What we're seeing here on House of the Dragon is much more accurate in terms of how long it takes dragons to really grow. What we saw in Game of Thrones was definitely sped up. And I get the feeling that Game of Thrones just really wanted to have big dragons on screen, which makes sense. They wanted to have big dragons when they got to the final episodes, when they got to those later seasons. But the dragons in Game of Thrones grew incredibly quick, like way quicker than they should have. By the time Game of Thrones ends, Drogon's only around 7 or 8 years old, and he's already like the size of Melee's, for crying out loud, way too big for his age. So it just looks like on Game of Thrones, they aged up the dragons a little bit faster just because they wanted big dragons on screen, is what it seems like. But what we're seeing here on House of the Dragon, the rate of growth we're seeing on House of the Dragon is much more accurate to the books in terms of how long it takes them to reach maturity. But yeah, Game of Thrones just seemed to speed it up a bit. They seem to speed it up a bit. Let's see what else we got. We will probably see more of the dragon seeds, maybe see conversations about legitimizing Corlys's sons, and I'd like to see Rhaenyra and Damon finish their conversation, possibly 2 wives for Damon. Yeah, maybe. And then you got the whole weird thing going on with Damon and Alice Rivers. They seem to be getting closer and closer. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I get the feeling Damon and Rhaenyra probably will finish their conversation. Maybe not in this episode, maybe in the finale. I do remember seeing scenes in some of the trailers that looked like it was Syrax flying towards Harrenhal. So I get the feeling they are going to have that conversation. Maybe not in episode 7, but maybe in episode 8. And in terms of Corlys's sons, yes, Misty, I 100% agree. I think that could be a really interesting scene if we get to actually see Corlys, acknowledge them and maybe, petition Rhaenyra to give them the Valyrian name instead of the whole name. It could happen. It could happen. Again, it's going to be very interesting to see how that whole relationship develops. We have seen Corlys has been cozying up to Alan a little bit in terms of offering Alan a position as first mate on his ship. But he hasn't really acknowledged Adam yet either. And I get the feeling that is about to change. Now that Adam is a full-on dragon rider, especially not only a dragon rider, but a dragon rider riding his other son's dragon, his deceased son's dragon, or so we think. Yeah, I get the feeling Corlys is certainly going to notice him now. I get the feeling Corlys will notice him now. Let's see what else we got. Let me scroll down a little bit, see what you guys are saying. Sorry, this chat always tends to jump on me, but I am down at the bottom now. I would like it if Helena fight one battle, take the plot of Nettles, even though Rhaena takes her dragon, because Rhaena, I'm sure, would continue fighting, but Helena should see the war different than. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Helena's storyline. It already seems like it's diverging a little bit from the books, which is interesting. I feel like that's one character that they have added some very interesting, character development to Helena in terms of making her a dragon dreamer and stuff like that. I feel like it adds some extra depth to her character. But yes, in the books, after Blood and Cheese happens, Helena just becomes completely distraught, completely broken, and she doesn't really do anything else in the story after that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with her on the show. Will she go down a similar path? I'm not sure. It's looking like Blood and Cheese isn't breaking Helena like it did in the books. It seems like she has had a much different response to Blood and Cheese on the show than book Helaena. So at this point, I'm not quite sure what they're planning on doing with Helena's character, but I'm really looking forward to finding out. Again, with the whole dragon dream aspect of her and her seeing the future at times, it's it kicks open the door to have some interesting plot developments there to throw Helaena into. Will we actually see her on Dragonback fighting in any battles, though? I'm not really expecting it. I don't think we'll see Helaena and Dreamfire, even though the Greens could really use every dragon they could possibly get. As of right now, they really only have Vhagar and Tessarion, and Tessarion isn't even in the capital yet. So they definitely could use all the dragon power that they could possibly get. But at this point, I'm not really expecting Helaena to fight in any dragon battles. But it would be nice to see Dreamfire. Like, it would be really cool to see a nice shot of Dreamfire, if nothing else. Definitely. Saber Serpent Sword review says, as a father of two on spectrum children, Helena's portrayal has been dead on consistent with many of my daughter's behaviors. Fia is amazing. She really is good. I mean, I got to hand it to her. She was a phenomenal actress in The Last Kingdom. There was just a phenomenal show on Netflix. Anyone who has not seen The Last Kingdom, definitely check it out. If you're a Game of Thrones or a House of the Dragon fan, you'll probably like that. And she's phenomenal in that series, and she's even better in this one, I say. And I really like how they've added those extra character development points to Helena's character, with her making her a dragon dreamer, and with her, as you mentioned, kind of being, a little bit neurodivergent on the spectrum, sort of. And yeah, she's playing it beautifully. Like, you see some of her reactions to certain things. It's super on point with kind of the neurodivergent typical behavior. So yeah, just phenomenal actress. You really can't take anything away from Fia Saman. She is killing it in the role of Helaena. I just wish we got to see a little bit more of her. That was one of my only criticisms about Blood and Cheese, is we just didn't get enough time. We didn't get to spend enough time with Helaena before Blood and Cheese happened to develop that kind of connection between the audience and the character. That way, when Blood and Cheese does happen, it's that much more impactful because that connection was already established. But unfortunately, they didn't really spend a whole lot of time with Helaena before Blood and Cheese, which is a little bit of a travesty, in my opinion. But yeah, I would love to see a little bit more of her. She's gotten probably the least amount of screen time so far in season 2, and hopefully that changes, because yeah, like you said, she's an amazing actress. Absolutely amazing actress, for sure. They say Sunfire is the prettiest dragon, but I don't know. It's kind of plain Jane. Some of these other dragons might be prettier. And that's one thing that's definitely always been up for debate. In the books, it's always kind of referred to that Sunfire is considered the most beautiful of all of the Targaryen dragons. But that's really a subjective line, I guess, at the end of the day, isn't it? Because everybody has different preferences in terms of design, in terms of what their favorite colors are and things like that. Like, for me personally, just in terms of pure dragon design, I think Tessarion is the coolest looking dragon. And maybe it's just because blue's my favorite color, but the cobalt blue Tessarion with the copper horns, for me, that's always been the coolest described dragon in the books. I've always thought Tessarion was the coolest looking dragon. So yeah, that's definitely something that is a little bit more subjective. Again, even though the book refers to Sunfire, the Golden, as the most beautiful, it's still very much a subjective thing, because everybody just has different preferences at the end of the day. And I guess that's one thing I'll ask each and every one of you guys in the chat. What do you guys think? Who is your favorite dragon? Whether it's a book dragon or whether it's a show dragon or a mix of the two, what dragon is your favorite so far? What dragon design do you guys like the best? When you look at just the design of the dragon, which dragon design do you guys like the best? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. The Game of Thrones dragon sizes are not accurate. Absolutely divine, 100%. They are way smaller in the books. Drogon is like Vermax in the books by now. That's actually a much more accurate description. Yes, divine shocker. Yeah, if you guys look at Vermax on the show, that's probably how big Drogon should be on Game of Thrones. But yes, they're not very accurate in Game of Thrones. They made those dragons way bigger, way quicker, for sure. For sure. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got some awesome dragon picks coming into the chat. I love to see it. Tessarion Nation Rise. Oops. Chat. There goes the chat. Always jumping on me. Got to love it. There it is. Tessarion Nation Rise. Hell yes. I love Tessarion. I love the way Tessarion is described. I cannot wait to see that dragon on the show. Radical Z asks if Sunfire is dead. No, Sunfire is alive. We do hear Kristen Cole say in episode 5, right after Rook's Rest, that Sunfire was, quote unquote, long in the dying, which means Sunfire was, at least Kristen thought that Sunfire was maybe dying, but not dead. And Kristen even leaves a detachment of guards back at Rook's Rest to protect the dragon and keep it safe while it has time to heal. So no, Sunfire is not dead. Sunfire will definitely be coming back. Sunfire still got a lot to do. Sunfire still has a lot of story to do, for sure. We got another Tessarion vote. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Misty says, so far, I think Sea Smoke is the prettiest, and Bayliss so far. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, Sea Smoke's a great-looking dragon as well. I like Sea Smoke, too. Give me Tessarion Blue. Give me Tessarion Blue Fire. Give me Cannibal Green Fire, says Admiral Wackass. Hell yes, Admiral. I am right there with you, my friend. That was one thing. I knew they weren't going to do it on House of the Dragon just because Game of Thrones didn't do it, so I had a feeling they were probably going to have to keep to show continuity. But I was really hoping we were going to get some different color fire, some different color dragon fire in the show. In the books, of course, different dragons have different colors, and the different color dragons have different color dragon flame. It's not like every dragon in the book just spits out orange fire. Like in the book, as Admiral Wackass brings up here, Tessarion in the book is a blue dragon, and in the book, Tessarion's fire is even blue. And Cannibal has famously green eyes. We don't really know for certainty what color of fire Cannibal has, because Cannibal doesn't breathe any fire in the books. It just goes around chomping on other dragons and dragon eggs. But it would be really cool if they gave Cannibal some green fire to match his eyes. Sunfire the Golden famously has gold fire. So a lot of the dragons have fire that is more suited to their color in the books, and the show just has not gone in that direction. And again, I wasn't really expecting them to, considering how Game of Thrones went. Caitlin says Silverwing, awesome, definitely a worthy favorite, hell yes. Danny says Cannibal, hell yes, love the Cannibal. In terms of like going into the season, the 3 dragons I wanted to see the most were Caraxes, Tessarion, and Cannibal. I really, really want to see what the Cannibal looks like. We got Drogon from Wolfspear, hell yes, awesome. MKXD says Vermithor, the Bronze Fury, hell yes. Cannot wait to see the Bronze Fury. Grizzly says Caraxes, a worthy choice indeed. Who doesn't love Caraxes, the long neck machine? Another vote for Vermithor from Rage Templar. Hell yes, my friend. Vermithor is, I cannot wait to see a proper shot of Vermithor. That's going to be awesome. Rip the Dodo Bird says my favorite is definitely Sunfire. Hell yes. Okay, we got some Sunfire fans in the chat. Love to see it. Love to see it. Got another Vermithor sighting. Hell yes. We got the Smoke, or maybe that's meant to be Sea Smoke from the Summer Girl. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The Playback Room says Caraxes, the Throat Goat. Yes, Caraxes. Caraxes is that dude. And one thing I really like about Caraxes is design in particular is the back hind leg wings that they threw on the dragon, and I love the the mechanism behind it. Since Caraxes has such an incredibly long neck like that, it makes the dragon a little bit top heavy at times at flying. So next time you guys are watching Caraxes fly, take a closer look at Caraxes' back hind legs, and you'll notice a second pair of wings, much smaller, but a smaller secondary pair of wings you will see growing off of Caraxes' hind legs. And that is essentially there to stabilize Caraxes when the dragon is flying, because the dragon's neck is so long, it makes the dragon a little bit top heavy. So those hind legs, those little wings on the hind legs, are essentially there to kind of stabilize the dragon as he's flying. So I thought that was a very interesting character design. It seems like again, a lot of thought went into designing these dragons. So I always thought that was a really cool kind of tidbit. That small little pair of hind leg wings that Caraxes has was there to kind of help stabilize him because of his long neck. Just a really cool tidbit, I thought. Really cool tidbit. Best design so far, Caraxes, but Cannibal is the best, says Admiral. Hell yes. Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. Queen Maylis says Infinity 8. Hell yes. Queen Maylis, the Red Queen herself, who just went out like an absolute champ and went out like a true dragon, as Rhaenys went out a true dragon rider. Hell yeah. Can't take anything away from Melees. Can't take anything away from Melees. We got Greek Girl throwing up another vote for Sea Smoke is my boy. Hell yes. Awesome, awesome. I get the feeling we're going to see a little bit more Sea Smoke soon. We got another vote for Caraxes. Hell yes. We got another vote for the Blue Queen, Tessarion. Hell yes. We have seen the Red Queen already in Melees. Now we are getting ready to see the Blue Queen in Tessarion. Hell yes. Hell yes. We got another vote for Caraxes, the Throat Goat. Hell yes. We got another vote for Cannibal. Love to see it. Dragon of all time, House of the Dragon, Moon Dancer, says Leo V. Hell yes. Hell yes. I love it, guys. I love it. Awesome, awesome stuff. This episode will make people understand why he is named the Bronze Fury, says Rage Templar. Hell, I hope so. I certainly hope so. I hope we get some really nice Vermithor action in this episode. And it looks like we're going to. Looks like we are going to. We got a $1.99 super chat from A.R. Kagan. Thank you so much for the $1.99. What about Balerion? I'll be waiting, but I'm right there with you. I am waiting as well. I really hope we get a chance to see a live-action Balerion the Black Dread. I mean, you look at how massive Vhagar is in House of the Dragon. I can only imagine how massive Balerion is going to be if Aegon's Conquest does get greenlit. And I hope it does. I really hope it does. I have been hearing some good things behind the scenes in terms of Mattson Tomlin has been working away on a season 1 script for Aegon's Conquest, and it seems to be coming along pretty nicely by all accounts. I cannot wait. I really hope we get a chance to see Balerion the Black Dread. I was actually really hoping we were going to get a chance to see Balerion on this show, House of the Dragon, because if anyone remembers, when House of the Dragon starts in the books, Viserys, King Viserys that we see in season 1 is actually the last dragon rider who ever rides Balerion. He was bonded to Balerion when Balerion died. He's the last dragon rider to ever ride Balerion, even though he only rides Balerion once. I was really hoping to get that scene in the show, and I was very hesitant that we would get it, but it was just a small hope that I had coming into House of the Dragon, knowing that they were starting season 1 super early on and they were going to showcase pretty much the entirety of Viserys' reign. I was really hoping that they might start off when Balerion was maybe still alive, when Viserys was a younger man before he becomes king. But alas, it was not meant to be, but who knows? If Aegon's Conquest does get greenlit, we will definitely see a live-action Balerion the Black Dread. We will definitely see Balerion. Hell yes. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I hope to see it. I really hope we see Balerion. And thank you so much for the $1.99. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome stuff. Yeah, if Aegon's Conquest gets greenlit, I hope we see the first conquest of Dorne. Yes. And that's the thing. Like, if you're going to do Aegon's Conquest, there are some things that you're going to have to do in order to make it a compelling story, because nobody wants to see just a one-sided slaughter for 3, 4, or 5 seasons. You want it to have some stakes. You want it to have some drama. And, of course, one way to add some drama to the Aegon's Conquest storyline is, of course, the Dornish plotline, which we see Aegon come across some heavy and formidable opposition, and we see Dorne does more damage to Aegon and the Conquest than any other realm. And I won't spoil exactly what that is. If anyone hasn't learned about the Conquest yet, I won't spoil the specifics. But the Dornish plotline during the Aegon's Conquest is definitely going to be one of the more interesting ones, for sure. And then you have the aspects of the kind of interpersonal relationships between Aegon, Rhaenys, and Visenya. That is another way that you can add some very interesting and compelling drama to an Aegon's Conquest series. What was their dynamic like? How did they get along? Were Rhaenys and Visenya the best of friends, or were they rivals vying for Aegon's attention? Were they rivals in terms of finding out who could provide Aegon with an heir first? There's a lot of kind of interpersonal relationship things that they can explore there to make it a little bit more compelling and add some drama into the relationship, as opposed to just showcasing a one-sided slaughter the whole time. Nobody wants to see that. That gets boring after a while. So yeah, hopefully Aegon's Conquest does get greenlit, and hopefully we get some very interesting Dornish plot lines within. Hell yes. Hell yes. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. 45-minute warning. Yes, we are just under 45 minutes now. We are just under 45 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen, from episode 7 of House of the Dragon. And yes, I'm right there with you, Delilah. I need me some Silverwing. I need me some Silverwing as well. Hell yes. Hell yes. Let's see what else we got. We got another super chat from Brian Holiday. Thank you so much, Brian Holiday. Vhagar and Caraxes. Oh, in terms of your favorites, hell yes, I love it. Yeah, Caraxes will always be up there in terms of one of my top 3 favorite dragons of all time. I love Caraxes. I love the Bloodworm. One of the most ferocious young dragons of all of the Dragon Pit in Damon's younger days. That's what kind of drew Damon towards Caraxes after, because he was very drawn to Caraxes being a very ferocious, one of the, said to be the most ferocious of all of the young dragons at that point in time. So yeah, you can't take anything away from Caraxes. Caraxes is a freaking badass, absolute badass. Also, what happened with Cregan Stark and Aegon? Cregan Stark and Aegon. Oh, I think you mean Torrhen Stark and Aegon. If that's what you're maybe referring to. If we're talking about the conquest, Cregan Stark wasn't around yet. That was Torrhen Stark, actually, that was Warden of the North or King in the North when Aegon's conquest came around. Now, we're not exactly sure of the specifics of what exactly happened. We only have kind of, what we learned in Fire and Blood. And what we learned in Fire and Blood is that Aegon the Conqueror was going around conquering kingdom after kingdom. And after seeing what happened both at the Field of Fire and seeing what happened at Harrenhal, Torrhen Stark just thought it wasn't worth risking all of his northern soldiers. So instead of fighting Aegon and all 3 of his dragons, he chose to treat with Aegon, bent the knee to protect his people, and became the Warden of the North. But in terms of more specifics as to what they talked about, how they arrived at that decision, those are all details that we just don't know yet. George has left Fire and Blood very vague in that regard, but all we do know is that Torrhen Stark, held council with all of his northern lords for a fortnight, and then after that fortnight ended, he emerged from his tent, crossed the river himself, and laid his crown at the feet of Aegon the Conqueror, and officially bent the knee. And from that point on, Torrhen Stark was known as the King Who Knelt. And yes, some Northerners might kind of sneer at him for bending the knee, but at the end of the day, he saved the North. The North would have been slaughtered. As much of a House Stark fan as I am, I love House Stark. They would have been slaughtered. Aegon, Rhaenys, and it was unwinnable. It was completely unwinnable in terms of the size of the forces that Aegon had, plus the dragons. It was a no-win situation, and Torrhen Stark saw that, so he wisely bent the knee. Even if it was going against his pride, he did it to protect his people at the end of the day. So he became the King Who Knelt, but that is what happened between Torrhen and Aegon. Aegon and his wives, and what's in the letter. Yeah, I really want to find out what's going on. I really hope we get some kind of confirmation pretty soon. We know that they have been kind of working on some kind of script for Aegon's conquest for a while now, for quite a few months now. Matt Sim Tomlin, one of the writers of the Robert Pattinson Batman movies. He's actually the one who is writing the script for Aegon's conquest. I really hope that we get some kind of confirmation soon that they are at least going to order that to series. Because it would be such a spectacle. It would be so incredibly expensive to film. Don't get me wrong. Like if they do greenlight an Aegon's Conquest show and it is in live action, that is going to be the biggest budgeted show that HBO has probably ever produced. It's going to cost a ton of money to produce that show, but I can only imagine the numbers they are going to get if done right. And Aegon's Conquest TV series will definitely do Game of Thrones numbers, or maybe even more. It's a story that so many have wanted to see on screen for a very long time. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I guess we'll have to wait and see if we get some Aegon's Conquest confirmed definitive news on the horizon. I'm praying for it. I am praying for it as well. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Now, let's dive into some more of these trailer shots and stills. Now, of course, they did release some Episode 7 stills that we can take a look at real quick before Episode 7 comes around. And it looks like, again, we are getting closer and closer now, just 38 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Now, of course, we have this still, which we know is going to be coming pretty early in the episode when Rhaenyra goes to confront Sea Smoke and Adam of Hull, the new rider of Sea Smoke. And again, it's going to be interesting to see how this scene develops. It looks like Rhaenyra, by all accounts, is being a little bit aggressive with Adam. So it's going to be interesting to see how this scene plays out and where these two characters go from here. We have this shot, of course, of Alicent out there in the field, and we saw a shot of this in the actual Episode 7 trailer. That one shot of Alicent looking very disheveled as she's kind of walking into what looks to be a river. So it looks like Alicent has reaching her wit's end, and it's understandable. Alicent, we have seen her position of authority and her influence among her sons has been waning more and more each episode. We have slowly seen Alicent kind of go on the decline this entire season, to the point now where she's pretty powerless. Nobody's listening to her. She has little to no influence left in the small council. And now Aemond straight up fired her from the small council. So Alicent is at a point in time now where she's going to have to really contemplate what does she want to do from here forward. Does she, as Aemond put it, does she pursue some more domestic pursuits? Or will Alicent start to try and find a way to maybe regain some of her influence? I'm not sure. I guess we're going to have to wait and see where Alicent is going to go from here. But she has certainly been laid pretty low this season. She's been losing all of her power and all of her influence. And it's going to be interesting to see how she reacts to that. We got this shot of Jace. I'm looking forward to seeing what Jace's role is going to be in all of this. Now, of course, in the book, it's actually Jace who kind of spearheads the whole Dragon Seed storyline thing happening in terms of that and how it directly leads into the Battle of the Gullet. And again, I don't think we're going to get the Battle of the Gullet in Season 2. I get the feeling that's probably going to be a Season 3 event, but it's going to be interesting to see where Jace falls on this whole Dragon Siege storyline, because if we look at the Episode 7 trailer, Jace has that one line of dialogue where he says, "We are House Targaryen. We are the blood of the dragon. What does that mean for us if anyone can claim it?" So it looks like Jace is maybe a little bit worried for the legacy and reputation of House Targaryen if people find out that just anyone can claim a dragon. So this Dragon Seed storyline is going to be pretty interesting to see where Jace falls on it. He kind of spearheads it in the book, but it looks like he's going a different direction on the show. I don't like Jace's face. That is fair. That is totally fair. I know Jace certainly has a lot of fans out there. I know a lot of young ladies really, really like Jace, and that's totally cool. But if you think he has a weird-looking face, that is totally cool as well. You guys know me. All opinions are welcome. All opinions are welcome. Let's see what else we got. We got this shot of Larry's. Now, again, I actually really enjoyed this scene. I actually really enjoyed the scene in Episode 6 of Larry's and Aegon. It was, we got a chance to see a different side to Larry's, a side that we haven't ever seen before, where he kind of really lowered his walls a little bit and kind of opened up to Aegon. And you really got to see how much he and Aegon really have in common now. And yeah, I definitely agree, Radical Z. Jace has been good this season. Like, I was very impressed with Jace when he kind of just took matters into his own hands, flew down to the Twins, secured the patronage of House Frey. That is the kind of prince and future heir that I would want to see. Someone who does have a good head on his shoulders, who does know right from wrong, and is willing to kind of take action and lead by example at times. Jace really does have all of the makings to be an incredibly good king one day. So yeah, I gotta say, I gotta hand it to Jace. He's been pretty impressive in Season 2. He's been stepping up a little bit, and I hope we continue to see a little bit more of that. Jace has definitely been stepping up. But yeah, in terms of this shot right here, it was again, this was just a really cool scene between Larys and Aegon. Again, I'm just a big fan of good acting and good dialogue and a well-written scene, even if it's between two characters that I'm not really big fans of, like Larry's and Aegon, which I'm not huge fans of their characters, but I am huge fans of the actors portraying these characters and how good they are in the role. So this was just a very interesting side to see of Larry's. We got to see a small glimpse of exactly why he turned out how, as messed up as he did, why he kind of turned into someone who was capable of killing his own family just to get ahead. We get a small glimpse of that in this episode in terms of, him saying to Aegon that you will be mocked, you will be laughed at, and they will snicker behind your back. And again, you kind of got a small glimpse of everything that Larry's went through and how he was kind of shaped into the character that he is now. So you can totally see why he's so damaged and why he's so untrustworthy. No one's ever shown him any kind and love and trust in his way his entire life. So you can totally see why that's affected him. We got this shot that we already saw a little bit earlier. We got the shot of Sea Smoke and Syrax on the beach and the ensuing conversation of Rhaenyra and Adam. Could be interesting to see where that goes. We got another shot of, I think this one is actually an episode 6 shot of Rhaenyra and Mysaria. We certainly know they're getting a lot closer. This is what I really want to see. Now, again, I haven't been the biggest fan of the Damon storyline in season 2. I do feel like this whole Harrenhal DMT trip has been dragging on a little too long. It's just starting to feel a little repetitive. But it looks like it's coming to a head in episode 7. It looks like Damon is finally approaching the end of this DMT trip nightmare that he has been on in Harrenhal. And it's going to be interesting to see how all of this shakes out in regards to the Riverlords. Now, you guys heard me. I said a few weeks ago, I had a feeling that the Riverlords were going to be up in arms, and Damon is going to have to find a way to make things right with the Riverlords if he wants to win them over to his side. And again, we saw in one of the previous episodes, Damon and House Blackwood. We saw Damon tell Sir Willem of House Blackwood that House Targaryen, the crown, cannot be seen doing certain things. But yet, Sir Willem chose to fly the Targaryen banner right into battle anyway and right into Bracken lands anyway, which severely implicated House Targaryen in the atrocities that Willem committed against the Brackens, which we saw resulted in all of the big houses in the Riverlands kind of revolting around Damon and refusing to follow him. So I get the feeling Damon is going to have to make that right if he is going to win the Riverlords to his side. And we did get that one shot of a scene of Damon seemingly raising his sword over his head and getting ready looking like he's getting ready to execute someone. I wouldn't be too surprised if he has to bring some justice to House Blackwood in order to appease the rest of the Riverlords. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Damon beheading young Sir Willem in this next episode so he can win the support of the Riverlands. They're going to want justice, and we hear them say that in the trailer. The old gods demand justice. So it looks like justice is going to have to be done for the atrocities committed against House Bracken before Damon can win the Riverlords to his side. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see if I am right or if I am just massively wrong. I guess we shall see. And I could be massively wrong. That is very possible. Hell, it might even be likely. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to be going on, just based off that trailer shot of Damon getting ready, looking like he's getting ready to execute someone, and seeing after how everything shaked out with House Blackwood and Bracken. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Damon executing Sir Willem to win the Riverlands to his side. We got this one from episode 6 that we already saw. Awesome. And now we have this shot of Adam of Hull and Corlys. We did see in the previous episode that Corlys has ordered Adam of Hull to become his new first mate. So it's going to be interesting to see how this relationship develops, especially in the wake of Adam of Hull, claiming a dragon of his own. So it's going to be interesting to see how Corlys reacts to all of this happening. How is he going to get along with Alan on aboard the ship, and when and how is he going to get along with Adam when he finds out about Adam claiming Sea Smoke? So we got some interesting Valyrian scenes to look forward to, I think. Some interesting Valyrian scenes. We got another $4.99 from Brian Holiday. Thank you so much, Brian, for the $4.99. Appreciate that, my friend. Do you think Damon actually wanted to be king, or does he just want to be recognized and loved? What do you think he actually wants? And I actually did a video on this just a few days ago. Actually, it was one of the more fun videos I've made. I had a lot of fun making this video. And it's titled "The Return of the King," and in it highlights the return of King Viserys to House of the Dragon, and I do my best to explain what I think Daemon's Harrenhal visions truly mean. And part of it, I do touch on. At least it's kind of hard to tell because show Damon has gone in, kind of a different direction than book Damon. I don't think book Damon ever wanted to be king. Show Damon, I'm not quite sure if he exactly really wanted to be king, or as you mentioned, he just wanted the recognition. He just wanted the acolytes. And I do think a lot of Damon's need to prove himself does stem back to his relationship with his brother Viserys. And I think that's what that last vision was trying to showcase to Damon in episode 6 when we got that awesome cameo of Viserys coming back to the show. I get the feeling that is what that vision was trying to showcase, that Damon wasn't there for his brother when he really needed it. And I know these visions have been showing Damon a multitude of things in terms of all the sins that he's committed in his past and him confronting these sins. But I do feel like this one in episode 6 is one of the most profound ones, and one that's going to be the most important, because a lot of who Damon is, a lot of what Damon goes on to be is, as a result, a lot of Damon's motivation anyway was to prove himself to his brother. At the end of the day, Damon and Viserys had a rivalry, of course, but they were brothers at the end of the day, too. Brothers that did love each other. And Damon, in particular, had a lot of love for Viserys, but he just didn't always show it at times because he wanted to prove himself. He wanted to prove himself worthy of being next to Viserys. That's why we hear Damon say, 10 years you were hand, and not once did you ever ask me to be, 10 years were you king, and not once did you ever ask me to be your hand. And because Damon feels like it's his brother, blood is thicker than water. The blood of the dragon runs thick. So I don't know if Damon ever actually wanted to be king per se, or if he really just wanted the approval of his brother, if he really just wanted his big brother to believe in him. I think the act of Damon being removed as the heir really damaged him. And I don't think it damaged him so much as, he's upset that he can't be king. I think it damaged him because to him, that was his brother telling him that he doesn't believe in him. And I think that is a big part of what turns Damon into the character that we know today. The relationship that he has with Viserys. I think Viserys unnaming him as hand showed to Damon that Viserys feels like he can't trust his brother. So I do feel like a big part of Damon, that huge chip that he walks around with on his shoulder, I do think a big part of it stems back to his relationship with his brother Viserys, and how he's ultimately trying to prove himself to his brother Viserys over and over and over again ever since he was unnamed as hand. Because in Damon's mind, Damon feels like his big brother doesn't believe in him. So how do I get my big brother to believe in me? I go above and beyond, over the top, trying to prove myself and do some idiotic things along the way. And that's kind of what I picture of when I think of the character of Damon. I don't know if it's exactly that he wanted to be king per se, or if he maybe just wanted the recognition, as you put it. But thank you so much for the super chat, and a very great question. Very great question indeed. But I guess I'll ask all you guys in the chat that as well. What do you guys think? Do you think Damon really wanted to be king? Or do you think it's a little bit closer that maybe Damon just wanted the recognition and the acolytes? What do you guys think in the chat? Definitely let me know. I would love to get your opinions on this. Do you think Damon really wants to be king? Or does he just want the recognition? What do you guys think? Love to know your opinion. Love to know your opinion. While you guys put your opinions in, I do have that one awesome Viserys scene loaded up. And since we did get a phenomenal return of, in my opinion, the greatest character on House of the Dragon ever in Paddy Considine's King Viserys, I suppose it's only right that we play his scene and take a look at our pal King Viserys.
Did you say it? The heir for a day. Did you say it?
You should have been at my side. But instead, you chose to celebrate your own rise, laughing at me.
Laughing with the whores and lickspittles.
I have only ever defended you. Yet everything I've given you, you've thrown back in my face. I've decided
don't. To name a new heir. You are to return to Runestone and your lady wife at once. And you are to do so without quarrel.
Open the door! Open the door!
Oof, man, gone, but certainly not forgotten. I will always remember King Viserys and certainly miss him. King Viserys, you are sorely missed in season 2. I miss my boy. I miss my boy. Yeah, let's see what you guys were saying. We got another super chat from ACACC. Thank you so much, ACACC, for the $1.99. Very much appreciate that, my friend. Love this channel. Happy 20K subscribers. Wow, thank you so much for that, my friend. I very much appreciate you. You guys, again, have been so awesome. You guys have been so supportive. I can't thank you all enough in terms of all the support you guys have been showing the channel, the live streams, the videos. You guys have been right on there, watching them, sharing them, dropping comments, and it really does mean the world to me. I try to get to every single comment I possibly can, and I just can't thank all of you guys enough. You guys have been super supportive, and the least I can do is continue to go live and give us all a place to come and hang out a little bit while we watch some of our favorite shows. So thank you so much for that, AC. Very much appreciate you. Very much appreciate you. But yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Do you think Damon really wants to be king, or does he just want the recognition? Or, yeah, maybe is it a little bit of both? It very well could be a little bit of both as well. So, yeah, you might be right there. You might be right there. It could be a little bit of both. Shelly Love says, nope. I like Bittersteel a lot and his Golden Company. Yeah, hopefully I really hope we get a just Blackfire Rebellion spinoff at some point. I feel like the Blackfire Rebellion is a worthy event that is worthy of its own series in and of itself. And hopefully maybe we'll get that someday. Sci-Fi Fantasy World said Damon never wanted to be king. Awesome. Super Dave says Damon just wants to be acknowledged. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see what else we got. Just recognition from Jess. He knows he will be an awful king deep down. And I do think that is kind of it. I don't think Damon has the temperament for being king. He's just not suited to being king. And second sons rarely are. That's just kind of how this world is. Second sons aren't kind of brought up in that fashion. They're not kind of trained to be rulers one day. Second sons just have a lot more freedom and a lot different upbringing. So, you know, because of that, second sons usually tend to be not too suited to be king. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Sonder Days X says, I think it's similar to Aegon, like how Aegon didn't want to be king, but liked the validation he was getting from the small folk. And that was a pretty interesting kind of subtle change that we saw in Aegon, wasn't it? Because, yeah, at first, he really didn't want anything to do with it. He didn't want to be king at all. But then when we see him in the dragon pit, getting crowned with black fire in his hand, and he sees the crowd just roaring and cheering for him, you can see that subtle change on Aegon's face become a little bit more prevalent, where he seemingly starts to go from dreading this to loving this. So, yeah, it could be something similar like that, where maybe he just wants the praise and adoration. That's very possible. That is possible. Damon just needs to be wanted, says Delilah, and maybe that's it. Maybe Damon just needs a hug at the end of the day. Maybe that's it. Jamie Bone also says Damon wants recognition. I don't think he actually wants to be king. And yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe Damon just wants to be recognized for his efforts. And that was pretty much his whole reason for going down into the Stepstones and helping Corlys out in the battle for the Stepstones. He never wanted to be king of the Narrow Sea. He never wanted to be king of the Stepstones or anything like that. And he clearly didn't even want help from his brother. He just wanted a chance to prove himself. So yeah, that might be it. Maybe Damon doesn't want to be king after all. Maybe he just wants the adoration and to prove to himself of what he's capable of. Because yeah, down in the Stepstones, we see Damon receives a letter from his brother Viserys, letting Damon know that Viserys is sending more troops. And this completely infuriates Damon. And as a result, causes him to walk right into the crab feeders' camp by himself with no dragon, nothing but Dark Sister, to lure out the crab feeder and all of his troops so the Velaryons and Sea Smoke can kind of come in and decimate him. It's a very daring plan, and we see Damon go to that desperate length because he wanted to be the one who settled the matter in the Stepstones by himself, and he didn't want help from his brother. He didn't want any of that glory going to anyone but him. So yes, Damon does have that need to kind of prove himself at times, and he does have that need for that adoration. So yeah, could be that. Battlefield and Boxing MMA says, no, I believe he wanted to be the hand. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. Harrenhal Insane Asylum. It's looking a little bit like that, isn't it? It's looking a little bit like that for sure. Lick Spittles. I know, I love the freaking word Lick Spittles. And you could always tell when George's writing has influence on a certain episode, because the word Lick Spittle, George puts that word in his freaking books like 100 freaking times. You can really tell George loves the word Lick Spittle. So you can really see his influence in some of the writing every once in a while when we see episodes making a point to use the word lick spittle. That's George's word right there. George loves lick spittle. Only Simba wants to be king, says Yang Family. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it seems like the chat is kind of split overall in terms of thinking Damon kind of wants to be king or thinking that maybe he just wants the recognition. Okay, interesting stuff. Osmond Hull says he thinks he should have been heir, and I wish his bro would have trusted him and not banished him. And I think it's a little bit along those lines as well, where maybe he doesn't want to be king so much, but he really just wanted his big brother to believe in him. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, I don't have a big brother myself, but I do have two older sisters, and I have a great relationship with them. But I could imagine what a sibling rivalry might do to someone like Damon and Viserys, where yes, on one point they do have this kind of competition and rivalry, but on the other hand, Damon just wants a big brother at the end of the day and really kind of just wants to be worthy in his big brother's eyes. So I do think a big part of it is that as well. Maybe he does want to be king. Maybe there is a part of him who does want to be king too. But I definitely think at the very least, a big part of it is that Damon wanting to kind of just prove himself to his brother and to know that his brother believed in him. I think when Viserys unnames him as heir, it really was a shot to Damon's, not ego, but his heart more than anything. Finding out that not finding out that the king doesn't believe in you, finding out that your brother doesn't believe in you is 10 times worse, I would imagine. So yeah, I think that's where some of Damon's motivation comes from. I think that's where some of his motivation might come from. Let's see what else we got. He had a dragon, and Viserys was a weak leader. If Damon wanted to be king, he could have easily defeated Viserys. He loved his brother. Absolutely. Again, yeah, I mean, if Damon's only ambition was to be king, if that's all Damon wanted, yeah, like you said, he could have fucking easily overthrown his brother at any given point in time. He had a dragon. He's a much more formidable fighter. But no, he would never do that because he loves his brother. So yes, I very much agree with that, Sci-Fi World. I very much agree with that. Let's see what else we got. And yes, I see it, guys. We are 15 minutes away. We are just 15 minutes away. Will there be a live stream on Discord, Amarwakas? I am not sure. I will find out. Usually we stream the episodes directly in our Discord every week, but I'm sure Kiwi Skirt will let us know if she is doing it this week or not. I am not sure what exactly is going down. But if it is going to be streamed in the Discord, of course, everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome to come and hang out and watch the new episode with us. And there is the link from Kiwi. Thank you so much, Kiwi, for dropping the link to our Discord. There it is, the link to my Jeremy Ice and Fire Discord. Everybody is welcome. It's an open Discord. We welcome all comers, whether you're a House of the Dragon fan or whether you're joining the Discord for our From discussions or our Shogun discussions or many of the multitude of other discussions we have on multiple other shows and movies. Everybody is welcome. So if you do want to come and join us for the House of the Dragon Episode 7 watch party, hop into the Discord, click that link right there that Kiwi Skirt just threw into the chat, and everybody is welcome to join. Everybody is welcome to join. And yeah, Kiwi's awesome, isn't she? Like, Kiwi's just the best. Like, again, I know I keep saying it, but I really want to get to a point at one point where I can afford to just put Kiwi on payroll. I feel like she's earned it for all of the everything that she does to help the channel, everything that she does to help the Discord. Yeah, I got to get to a point where I'm putting Kiwi on the payroll. She deserves it. She deserves it. But yes, guys, we are getting closer and closer now. We are 13 minutes away from House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 7. And as Kiwi points out, for anyone who is maybe a newcomer to Discord that maybe isn't too familiar with Discord, I myself am still figuring out how to navigate Discord. It's a very complicated app for me. I'm not the most tech-savvy guy, as I'm sure you guys have realized. But Kiwi is saying, newcomers, hi, make your way to the roles channel on the left and click the icons for the channels you want to see or all. Welcome and make yourself at home. Absolutely. The way that the Discord is set up, that when anyone enters, you look at the channels list on the left, and if you go all the way up towards the top, you will see something labeled roles. If you click on that, it will show you all of the different topics that the Discord offers, and you can just like every topic that you want to be a part of. If you want to be a part of the A Song of Ice and Fire discussions, you like that one. If you want to be a part of the From discussions, you hit that one. If you want to be a part of everything, you hit all of them. But that's how the roles works on the Discord. I'm still learning the ropes myself. I am no Discord expert. That is for sure. That is for sure. Dinek says, I think he only wants the chase. If he was the king, he would get bored of it. And I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you on that. And humans are like that. I know I'm like that myself at times as well. Even if it's just something as simple as like a video game, it's the chase of getting to an achievement that is the fun part. Once you actually get to that achievement, it loses a little bit of the magic. So yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. Yeah, I think the chase of chasing the throne is probably far more enticing to Damon than actually sitting on the throne and ruling. Yeah, I think he would get bored of it, but he does like the chase. Yeah, I 100% agree with that, and that's a great way of putting it. Great way of putting it. I like that. I like that. But yeah, here we are, guys. 11 minutes away. We are just 11 minutes away now. So I am going to get ready to close it down. That way everybody has enough time to get out there, get your drinks, get your cannabis ready, get your candy ready, get your snacks ready, whatever you partake in, get ready, bathroom breaks, the whole 9 yards, and then come and join us in the Discord for our live watch party of Season 2, Episode 7, just 10 minutes away now, ladies and gentlemen. 10 minutes away. So again, I want to give a big thank you to each and every one of you. You guys have been, again, so freaking supportive. I can't thank you enough for all of the support and love you guys have been showing the channel. It really does mean the world to me. And again, never in a million years thought we would hit a 20,000 subscriber mark. You guys have just been so supportive, and I really can't thank you enough. We got another $1.99 super chat from ACACC. No one caught the open the door, hold the door. Hold the door, hold door. Yeah, that was one of the better reveals. Definitely one of the better reveals for sure. And thank you so much, AC, for the $1.99. Thank you so much. But yeah, here we go, guys. Praise Garth indeed. Praise Garth the Green Hand. I am getting ready to go do that myself. I just picked up an ounce of the best do-si-do cannabis I've ever tried in my life. I got my concentrates ready. I got my live rosins ready. I got my vapes ready. I am ready to go. And of course, I got my snacks and my Reese's. I am ready. So again, big thank you to each and every one of you. Get out there, come and hang out with us in the Discord if you want, or if you want to come and join us for the encore watch party. We usually watch the episode twice in Discord. We watch it once, then we'll talk about it for a few minutes, and then we watch it again for a second time just to maybe catch some things that we might have missed. If you want to just join us for the encore viewing, that is totally cool. Or if you just want to join us for the first viewing, that is cool as well. But we will be discussing the episode after it airs, after we're done watching it as well. So definitely stay behind for the conversation if you guys choose to. Totally up to you. But again, big thank you to each and every one of you. I am going to get ready to go close it down now and go get my stuff situated and in order. And thank you so much for subbing to the channel. Very much appreciate you. Very much appreciate you. You guys have been so supportive. I really can't thank you all enough. And again, I will continue to go live each and every week leading up to House of the Dragon. And of course, when House of the Dragon ends, I will also be going live every week in terms of From Season 3, which is just around the corner. So all of my awesome House of the Dragon fans, if you guys have not seen From yet, From, that's the name of the show, From on MGM Plus. Definitely check out that series. It is my favorite show that is currently on TV right now. It is so good. It is so interesting. It's filled with mystery and phenomenal writing and phenomenal characters, and a very nice, healthy dose of horror as well. So if you guys want to, definitely check out From when you get a chance. That will be the next big show that we will be covering right here on the channel. Season 3 starts September 22nd, so you guys have more than enough time to catch up on Seasons 1 and 2. So get out there, check out From if you haven't already, and until next time, I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with us. I will be hopping into the Discord in a few minutes as well once I get all of my stuff situated. Everybody is more than welcome to come and hang out with us. I will drop the Discord link one more time in the chat for everybody who is looking for it. Here we go. Here is the Discord invite link. Here we go. There it is. The Discord link is in the chat right there. Again, everybody is welcome to come and hang out and join us for the watch party. I'll be in there in a few minutes as well. I might be a few minutes late, but I will definitely be in there regardless. And again, big thank you to each and every one of you for coming and hanging out with us. And again, get out there, check out From if you get a chance. That will be the next awesome show that we will be diving into right here on the channel. I would love to see each and every one of you guys come and hang out with us and join the discussion for the From streams. The show is a freaking roller coaster of a ride, and I promise you will not regret it if you get invested in From. You will not regret it. So check that one out. Check us out on the Discord in a little bit. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, be kind to one another. Stay safe out there. And as always, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks. And I will see you on the next one.
Kings. Fire. And blood. Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did. The threat of war looms.
There is no war so hateful as a war between kin.
I mean to fight this war and win it.
I will not be thought weak. I wish to spill blood.
And no war so bloody as a war between dragons.